Hello, friends. It's your Greason back. I have to talk a little quietly because I'm filming this at 2 a.m. because my sleep schedule is really fucked, really messed up. I'm not gonna get monetized. Even then, I can't even not monetize any of my videos, I don't even think. But today we're gonna be talking about my favorite albums of the year so far. Now, normally, I would make one of these by the end of July. It'd be June. By the end of June. But it is July, and but I started the show this month, and we're more than halfway through the year, which is crazy to think about. And I just thought I'd catch you all up as to what I've listened to from this year. Not everything I've listened to is just this. This is picked out from a big list of songs and albums I've listened to, and this one is one of, well, I'm not going to get into that yet. Some of these might not be like super comparable to my ratings I've given them. For example, this first one here, it's over here, is one of them I rated an 8 out of 10. Meanwhile, there's other ones that I've rated 9 out of 10 from this year that I've not included in this video, and that's because some of these I've listened to more and can remember more, and the ones that are, higher rated, I have to be in the headspace of listening to it again to really have it sink in, and I just haven't had the time to give those a re-listen. But I add this little window here to make just to show of what I'm talking about, and you can skip around and stuff. So this right here is Pirouettes by, or not Pirouettes, but Pirouette by Model Ectries. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but this is an album that was, singled out for a while, especially for its release, because I kept hearing the song. What song was it that was the main single? Cinderella. I kept hearing that single repeatedly, and this was one of those releases where the sound really, really stuck out to me. The vocal performance is pretty unique, and there's something going on thematically within it that really makes me connected to it, especially with that song Cinderella. It's a really good single, um, and it's got a really unique style, and I think Pirouette is a great title for it. It has this sort of gothic um, aesthetic going on, but it's also a little bit edgy, but it has a bit of a style to it and is a bit self-aware of not going too far into the edginess like a Linkin Park would, but keeping it real and somewhat like industrial and intense. And yeah, I really like this release. I recommend it. Also, this is not in any order. This is just some of my favorites that I can recap upon from this year. Next up is Carolyn 2 by Carolyn. Carolyn is an artist that I've actually been into for quite some time. And let me see if I can move this. Hold on. Oh no, it can stick there. Okay, never mind. Carolyn is an artist I've listened to for quite some time. They released some singles way before they even released one album, and I really liked them. They're very moody, very atmospheric, very sad, and while it's melodic and nice, there's still this sort of emptiness and desolate that comes with it that I really connect to, and it's great for listening to it while you're driving. I say that a lot, or like just during the daytime in a very boring day. And it has Adrian Lenker. I'm pretty sure. I just want to make sure I'm right. Um, Oh, it's not even there. I'm pretty sure there's an Adrian Lenker collaboration, unless I'm misremembering, which is a huge surprise. I wasn't expecting someone like her to make an appearance on such a new coming artist, but this is one of my favorites of the year, and I highly recommend it to lots of different parties, especially people who are a fan of dark and moody music. Not really dark, but sad and moody music, I guess. Next up is Magic Alive by McKinley Dixon. This is an artist I've only listened to. Um, this album's only art of ugh. This album is the only release I've listened to from McKinley Dixon. I am looking forward to listening to his previous work because this one was very surprising. I was not expecting this high of production for an artist I only hear about sometimes, and especially in the well, it's popular. It's not the kind of thing you can approach someone at random and ask them about it. He's not on the same tier as someone like Playboi Carti when it comes to this genre. It's not trap, obviously, but it's like, rap music that might be in the public eye. Um, but it's something that's really, really high quality. It's something I could imagine giving a really high score in the future. I've only given it about 1.5 listens, I guess I'll say. Um, but every song on here slaps. Every song, it's a really short listen, so it's really easy to get into. I almost wish it was longer because I just want more of that really reinvigorating sound and high quality, mastering. But um, 1.5 listens, and I had a really good time listening to it. I highly recommend it to pretty much anyone. Anyone can listen to this and have a really good time. Um, Trying to find my mouse. Next up, this is the first album I got into um, this year, and it's kind of funny because this was literally released in January 1st of this year. This release is called, I should probably say what the titles are more often. Um, I don't know what the characters at the beginning say, but it's Sunbelt Princess by Lua Collider. Lua Collider is a very busy musician. I'm not sure if it's a band or a solo artist, but they've been around and they've made a lot of music. And a lot of it really does, especially with this release, it feels like um, it was sort of made for me in a weird way. Like there's a I'm thinking of ending things reference in there. Like they sample a scene from I'm thinking of ending things, which is one of my favorite movies. And while I haven't watched Neon Genesis yet, you can see really where the passion for the sound and the themes are coming from with that album cover. It's something I would highly recommend to a lot of people that like stuff like Car Seat Headrest. Um, it's very rate your music core, which is a coin I like, a term I like to coin a lot because it's very it feels like a user from Rate Your Music made it, and that's because it was. Um, it's something you can just fall into, and it's really fun. It's got like 3 tracks on it. I think it's 4 actually, but 3 of them are like 10 minutes long. So it's the kind of release it is. But it's really fun, and I highly recommend anyone to check it out. Next up is Choking by Oklau. Okelau? I don't know how to pronounce her name, but between this and FKA Twigs' album Eusexia, I prefer this one more. They're not really the same genre, but they have the same sort of motif and style. This release feels like perfect for when you're at home alone with very little to do. And it has that really moody, cloudy atmosphere of being in a not so great apartment, being sweaty like the album cover, and time is going really, really slow. And but it's not super sad or moody. It's actually quite enjoyable. It's the kind of thing people would smoke weed to while playing in their living room with friends. It's something I'd highly recommend to those that kind of audience. And yeah, it's something I'd like to listen to more. I have only given it one true listen, but I remember quite a bit about it, and it was my favorite album for a while from this year, since there wasn't too many albums I'd listened to from this year. Next up, Balloonerism by Mac Miller. As we all know, Mac Miller has passed on in 2018, and the only releases we're getting now are basically posthumous releases. And I don't know the full process of how those are made, but this is not made out of cynicism. This isn't a Juice WRLD situation. where there's a bunch of cynical releases with, you know, him being plastered on all kinds of products. With Mac Miller, it's very, very, appropriate, and it feels like they're doing it out of as accurately as possible if he were still with us. And Balloonerism is very unique compared to the other Mac Miller releases I've listened to. It's very sad, which isn't too new for Mac Miller, but it's incredibly sad because even with something like, I don't remember what that was it called 2018? I can't remember which one it was, but the one with the my favorite one. It really shows how much I love it with me not remembering the title. But it's the one where he's wearing that suit, not wearing any shoes on the cover. Has the song 2009 on it. That release, it had some sad moments for sure, but there was also plenty of moments that a hype beast would enjoy. And this has nothing like that on it. This is something that's very jazzy, atmospheric, and dreary as one can be. And I think that's it's a good thing in a sense for someone like me. There's a lot of variety on this album. It's a pretty long listen, and it ends with a huge banger, in my opinion, which is one of my favorite songs of the year. That being Tomorrow We'll Never Know. Is that? Yeah, Tomorrow We'll Never Know. It's a very long track, and it's not the kind of thing I really expect from a rap artist. Um, and I just have a lot of appreciation for the people that handle the estate of Mac Miller. Because like even the album cover was made before his death. Like um, that's how purposeful and intense they are with making it as accurate as possible. Next up, To the Core, 153 BPM by Zayev. It's hard to pronounce the name, but this is not the kind of release I expected to like as much as I did. This is an album that encapsulates 2012 to 2015 super well. It has elements of, like beats from Undertale, pop music from the time, um, samples from video games. It feels like something, it feels very Geometry Dash, which is kind of how I got into music in the first place, was from playing Geometry Dash. It feels so childlike and nostalgic for the previous decade. Um, and it's just fun. It's a really fun listen. It's got some really good moments, really good beats. Um, and it's something I can recommend to someone in my age or in Gen Z's age. It's something they can really connect to, and I'd highly recommend to 20-year-olds and younger. It's also kind of got that sort of production you'd expect to see in like a Minecraft parody music video in a good way. That's kind of a good, in a good, not in a negative way, in a good way. It's tacky in all the right places, and I really appreciate that about it. Next up, trying to find my cursor. Hymnal by Lyra Pramuk. This one's a bit lesser known. It's got not that many listens on Spotify, but I'm surprised because this is a really good, really like tantalizing it's great for meditation. It takes you to a new world. It's got a lot of vocal performances, and it's something that's beyond words. It's really hard to describe it, but there's something very hypnotic about it. Um, very just beautiful. It feels like it feels like you're watching a dark lake. It's these are just my experiences with it, but it's something that you can you just are taken somewhere else. You can fall asleep to this music. I can only imagine only good dreams can come of it. And for those who want a stress-free 40 something minutes, this is a great listen. So I'd highly recommend Hymnal by Libra Pramuk. Excuse me. Next up, Music 2 by FM Skyline and Equip. This is an album that feels like a soundtrack to a Nintendo 64 game, and I mean that in the best way possible, but it has some of that newer production you'd hear in a trip hop album. Um, this is very trip hop to me, at least. It's got a bit of an aesthetic that's sort of vaporwave-esque, but it doesn't go that far. There's no slowed down vocals or anything like that. It's just very kerplunky, I guess. I don't really know how to describe it, but it feels like, again, old platformer collectathon type game. And that's definitely on purpose with that album cover, which is giving a lot of like Nintendo Powers sort of aesthetic with the clay characters. This is an album I can recommend to a lot of people who like old tech or hey, fans of Vaporwave, I think would enjoy it. Maybe it's not Vaporwave, as like as we know it, but it's got some of those ideas in there and puts a new twist on it. And it makes me more interested to listen more FM Skyline and Equip because I had never heard of them before this release. Next, and this is probably my favorite of the year so far. It might get beaten out. Maybe, honestly, Hymnal could possibly beat this out, but technically it's not an album, it's an EP, but it's Perverts by Ethel Cain. This is definitely not an easy listen for many reasons. Ethel Cain's music is something to behold. There's a lot of twists and turns in terms of like her style and what she's trying to do, and I think that's why this is an EP, because she wants to do a bit of a dark ambient drone metal release. It reminds me a lot of Black One by Sun O, and it's got this very empty, very depressing, very slow atmosphere while she speaks a lot of words. It's spoken word. She doesn't really sing on it, except for some moments. Um, and it just feels like it feels like the album cover. The album cover is very appropriate. It's kind of got this religious theme going on, but also along with the ideas of sinning. And for those who are itching for a somewhat new, like lingua ignota experience, or a Tristan Hayter experience, this is definitely something to check out. And I really enjoyed it, and I'd recommend a lot of people to listen to it, especially if you want a bit of a. Honestly, it's good for studying, even. It might be dark and depressing, but it's got kind of a spooky vibe that doesn't take too much of your attention to listen to. Um, it's not the kind of thing I'd rate a perfect 10 or anything, but it's something that I don't know, I was just really perplexed and intrigued by this listen, similarly to Sun O's Dark One. I've listened to them both for the same reason, and yeah, so far, this is my favorite of the year. And it came out very early this year too, which is kind of a shame. Usually, I expected to get beaten out very quickly, but Ethel Cain is just too good of a musician. So yeah, now I'm going to talk about some releases that are fairly unknown. They're like, in a sense, like honorable mentions. That's what I'd call them. Next up in honorable mentions is this release called After EP by After. I'm a huge fan of trip hop. I love Lemon Jelly. I love Daft Punk. It might not be trip hop per se, but it's got elements of it. Um, I like a lot of trip hop releases. Gorilla's first album, people could consider trip hop, and this is just trip hop through and through. It's got an old early 2000s aesthetic. It feels like it was made on Windows Vista. It feels like the soundtrack to a Windows Vista game, and I really connected to it, and I love the feminine vocals on it. It's not the kind of thing I'd really hear from something like this, but this feels like a Lemon Jelly release. It feels like I've been brought back with this. It also kind of gives a little bit of I can't remember the name, but another artist that does trip hop that I've gotten into not too long ago. I can't say you know the one because there's so many, but it's something I really enjoy, and I love the again I love the aesthetic. The album cover is really great for the sound it's going for, and I recommend it to those who just like nice, trippy beats. Next up is the longest release I've listened to of the year, and I'd highly recommend you not to listen to the full thing all at once like I did. It's Wall I Was by Naked Flames. This album is 6 hours long. Very, very long, but there's a reason why. It's because it's this sound. It's a house album. It's just a bunch of really fun, very relaxing beats for 6 hours. So it's not going to run out anytime soon when you're playing it in the house. And yeah, it's pretty solid, and there's some good samples in there. It reminds me a lot of Against All Odds, which is Against All Logic, sorry, Against All Logic. And I like Against All Logic, so this was a very open release to me. Again, don't listen to the full thing all at once because that's a pain and it gets really tiring and repetitive. But I would recommend clicking around and listening to some of the tracks, or maybe like one track a day, perhaps. And it's really solid in that sense. And yeah, I definitely feel accomplished for having listening to it all the way through. Like, oh, it was so long. But yeah, it's kind of like oopsie. It's kind of like One Wayne G in a sense. I just knocked something over. Um, where it's just a really long release, but who cares, you know? It's just you can just listen to it and have fun. Um, and then the last honorable mention I'll bring up is Serene Demon by Art the I don't know how to pronounce her name, but Art the Echo? Art the Echo. Now, as I've said before, I'm a huge fan of Boogie Belgique in the Art Deco style, and it's kind of the thing that got me into the Art Deco style. And this is got this sort of Baroque style to it. It feels like the kind of thing that'd be played in a speakeasy, and it's really moody and atmospheric. It's got some jazz elements to it, some pop elements to it, and I just really love Art Deco's vocal style. It's really pretty. Um, I really like the album cover for it. It's the title track is one of my favorite songs of the year. And for those who like, you know, electro swing or swing in general or jazz, I'd recommend this. It's a really nice listen. And yeah, that's about all of the releases I will mention for this video. Um, it's hard for me to talk about music because it kind of goes beyond words for me. Um, I hope me blabbering doesn't sound too caveman-esque and nonsensical. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'd like to do this more. For this month, though, tomorrow will probably be the topic of my thoughts on the most popular releases based on Rate Your Music's charts, because I've been listening to those this month. Um, so I hope you all enjoy this video, and I'll see you all next time. If I can find my cursor.